So once Unity is loaded, you need to have the AltSpace up here on the menu and also to have the shader present. If you don't, you got to go to the folder that we put on the desktop, and here's something similar, and find these two files, the uploader and the VR 180, that you double click one at a time. And then remember, it came in and gave you an upload with a bunch of check marks, and then, or an import, and then another one down here that was green, you had another import, and when you did it correctly, you ended up getting AltspaceVR, which I'm circling with the mouse. That wasn't there before, between component and window. And also down at the bottom here, under assets, you ended up getting the one called VR 180. And in that, as you opened it, the bottom one said shader within that folder, and that's where we got this S, the only thing we needed, and drag that up typically to any folder you want to work with, but typically I'm in assets. So then we went and right-clicked here on a blank area, and of course if you're doing a new one, you can do new and project. That's going to make you have to import those two files I just talked about. But new scene will just get this clear, and you don't have to import those two things. If I right click, I'm going to get 3D object, and then I choose plane. And in this one, I just want to do two different, oh, it didn't work yet. I guess my machine is a little slow. I don't even have a pause here. Uh-oh, 3D. And I did plane. Oh, it took so long. And my plane is actually too big, so I'm gonna have to, normally it don't come in that size, I'm gonna have to go up here where it says scale tool, if you see where I'm circling, and I'm gonna have to take the center and move it down so it's a decent size plane. And then we went and right-clicked plane and did copy, and then clicked below plane, right-clicked, and chose paste as many times as you want. I could click below and paste again, but I only got room for two on this. They're all stacked one on another, so I click on one of them and I make sure I'm on the move, which I move to the scale. Here's the move under the word edit on the menu. You see the two arrows, I'm there, and then I got the red line and the blue line, the X and the Y, and I can drag that one over. And if I had more, I'm going to have to use the blue one and go back. Even if they're smaller because they're in distance, it doesn't matter. I usually stack about 6 of them. Then you go and you highlight either one of them with a single click, and you find your stereo images. You would bring them in from another file if you didn't have them and drag them in here. I've already got mine dragged in, so I just drag that one up and let go. And I should get the stereo image. I think my machine is running super slow for some reason. Great time to do a video. I'm there, and I'm taking the second stereo image and wondering why it is taking so long. Okay, that one went in, and this one, I guess I wasn't giving it enough time. Now I got my 2 stereo images. Then I've got this window here that comes from AltSpace. When I'm ready to load, I'm going to move it to the side for now. It wouldn't even be there until you click on AltSpace, but since I already logged in to save time, I'm not going to mess with that. I have to take the shader, and mine's already done, so you don't see the word standard, but I would otherwise have to take the shader and point it here where it would say the word standard and let go, and that makes stereo. And then I have to check to see that it says side by side. Go to my next image and click, and same thing. Take the shader and move it over to stereo. Remember, we got the shader from way down here. Let me move this window out of the way. That came from that VR 180 folder that we brought in on the import, and it was under opening that. And then its subfolders, one of the last subfolders is shaders. And when I opened shaders, I had that shader and I dragged it right up to assets, which is why it's still there. I have too many things here, but you can see it. Okay, then we've got all the stuff done on Unity. We need to bring it into AltSpace. We go up, we already loaded the file. I click AltSpace, I get the build settings. I have to log in with my account, and then I get a choice. It'll default on template, but I go to Kit, and under Kit, I give it a, first thing I do is find down, I'm scrolling down, and I see Create a New Kit. And then it goes black for a second and takes me to my kit creation. So I'm just going to call this TTTEST. So just test, and that's all I need. I could put an image to make it easier to see, but in the beginning, I don't care. I got to remember my name exactly, lowercase, no spaces. Can use an underline if you really have to, but I'm doing 3 T's and an EST. So when I create the kit, then I'm going back to Unity. I can use the Alt key and the tab to go there quickly like that, or click down below. I'm back in Unity. I'm on the kit. I need to go up here where the name is, and since I already did this before, I've got a name, but otherwise you wouldn't, but I can just go right over TTTEST. And then I need a shorthand for remembering it from other files, and you usually only use 2 letters. I'm just going to do TT, and then here, I think it needs the underline to work correctly. I did the shift underline. Okay, now that's ready. I can move that a little to the side. I highlight my planes, as many as I want to do. I can hold the top one and then hold the shift and click the bottom one. I could have 8 or 10 and click them all and they'd all be there, same thing. Then I go to down here, scrolling down, I go to convert game objects to kit prefab. Click that and it should go pretty quick. When it's done, it gives you a short message. No, it didn't give a message, but it seems to be done. Then I go down and scroll down to load kit prefab directory. So it has made those into prefabs, so I find that thing which is right near the bottom, load kit prefab directory. I don't have to do load kits. That's only necessary if you're confused about your kits. We already did create a new kit. We already did convert, so it's the only one we did other than load kits, which we don't need. We're loading the kit prefab directory. I click that, and now I see my 3Ts EST, and I simply make sure I'm on Windows and Android clicked, and I leave that one package generated screenshots. That means that it's going to show the small image on it, so we want that checked, and I think that might be default, and I just hit build. And here's where we got confused before with the OneDrive, that on your machine, if it's showing OneDrive, you've got a hard time finding the file. Next time you load in with a create a new a new profile there, when you start Unity, choose a different location. Just put it on desktop in a subfolder or something like that. You oftentimes can't tell when this thing's done. When it's done, it's going to show us the zip file. The one that we couldn't find and took so long on OneDrive. It'll show it in my area. And I'm just waiting. Sometimes if I'm impatient and I'm doing a lot, I'll try to shake this window. If I can't move it, I know it's not done yet. Otherwise, it should be done soon. And hopefully I don't have to pause this video. I'm thinking it's done since we only had 2. And it should roll into the, here we got. So that thing was called TTTEST, and I got to pay good attention that it's under C drive, users, under mine it's Steve, new Unity Projects 4, and then I'll see it. So that's all I need. I can close that and then go to my template, which again I can do either from the bottom or Alt-Tab. I'm right back on my browser. I've got the kit loaded, but I need to edit it. And then when I edit it, I scroll down. I don't need anything. Again, this is cosmetic if I want to put an image on later to remind me what it is, but the only necessity is that I come down here at the bottom and make sure I use 2019.4, the top one. Can't use that one, has to be that. Choose the file, and then I have to remember where my zip was. It was under C drive and users and Steve, and then it was new Unity Project 4 for mine, and then I find my t-test and double click. Now I just hit the update and I'm basically done. The kit's formed under that. If I scroll down, I see that it said it's successful here. Less than a minute ago, it was successful for Android, the headset, and PC. So that's it. If I want to go in and edit again, I can try to share it with a friend, edit, go down here, add a friend. I have to, and then click on the friend. And I think if you have too many friends, I think you get limited. That's my only guess. Otherwise, you come up and choose the person and it will add to them. And it'll show their name in there. And then, of course, you have to go down and do another update and wait till that's done. Hopefully that works.